Greetings aspirants, welcome back to the Daily Current Affairs Analysis by Civic Center IAS, where we shall discuss important relevant articles from the UPSC CSE Prelims perspective, displayed at the topics which we are going to discuss today. The first article says that in the first three frontline platforms, that is INS Nilgiri, INS Vaghseer and INS Surat, were commissioned on the same day in the Navy on Wednesday. And this marked the first instance of commissioning a destroyer, a frigate and a submarine together. So in this context, let's talk about the INS Nilgiri, INS Vaghseer and INS Surat. Let's begin with the INS Nilgiri. Know that it is the first of 7 frigates in the Nilgiri class stealth frigates developed under the Project 17A, and it was designed by the Indian Navy's Warship Design Bureau and built by the Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited. Furthermore, it is equipped with the advanced stealth technology. Additionally, the INS Nilgiri has reduced radar signatures, making it difficult to detect. And also, it can operate multiple helicopters, including the MH-60R, and boasts a multi-mission capability, excelling in anti-surface, anti-air, and anti-submarine warfare. Further, its key weapon systems include supersonic surface-to-surface missiles, medium-range surface-to-air missiles, further an upgraded 76 mm gun, and also rapid-fire close-in weapon systems. So with its ability to handle both conventional and non-conventional threats, INS Nilgiri is a significant upgrade over the Shivali class frigates and is designed to operate in blue water environments. And its construction philosophy ensures reduced build time, reflecting India's shipbuilding expertise. For your information, the Nilgiri class fleet also includes ships like Himgiri, Taragiri, Udaygiri, Dunagiri and Vidyagiri, which are currently at various stages of construction. Next, we have the INS Surat, which is the fourth and final vessel of the Project 15B stealth destroyer class. Know that it is designed by the Warship Design Bureau and built by the Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, and this ship is a true successor to the Kolkata class destroyers. Interestingly, INS Surat is the first Indian Navy warship with the artificial intelligence capabilities, setting a new benchmark in the naval warfare. Further, it is equipped with the state-of-art sensors and weapons, including surface-to-air missiles, anti-ship missiles, and torpedoes. Additionally, it is also powered by a combined gas and gas propulsion system. The INS Surat achieves speed of over 30 knots, that's more than 56 kilometers per hour. And finally, we have the INS Vaghseer, which is the sixth and final submarine of the Scorpion class developed under the Project 75. Know that the diesel-electric submarine, created in collaboration with the French naval group and the Spanish Navantia, continues the legacy of the Calvary and Vela class submarines. See here, the INS Vaghseer is built for the anti-surface warfare, anti-submarine warfare and intelligence gathering. Additionally, it also has the potential for further upgrades such as air-independent propulsion technology, enhancing its operational endurance underwater. Interestingly, see, the submarine is named after a type of sandfish found in the Indian Ocean, reflecting a unique connection to its environment. And this simultaneous commissioning of 3 frontline platforms, that is a destroyer, a frigate and a submarine, is a testament to India's growing naval capabilities and indigenous defense production. These platforms, designed and built in India, showcase the nation's commitment to becoming a global maritime power. The second article says that the criminal case against Karnataka former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa on the allegation of the sexually assaulting a 17-year-old girl at his residence cannot be quashed, as the victim had recorded her voluntary statement before a magistrate, alarming the allegations made in the complaint lodged by her mother. It was contended before the High Court of Karnataka on Wednesday on behalf of the Criminal Investigation Department. In this context, let's dive into the origins, objectives, and key provisions of the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012, in short, the POCSO Act. Know that the POCSO Act came into effect on 14th of November 2012 and it was enacted as a direct result of India's ratification of the UN Convention on the Rights of Children in the year 1992. Moreover, it was specifically intended to protect children from sexual assault, sexual harassment, and pornographic violations, while also establishing special codes for these sensitive trials. Importantly, the Act defines a child as any person below the age of 18 years. In fact, it is the first comprehensive law in India that deals exclusively with the sexual abuse of children and is administered by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Now, let's explore the key provisions of the Act. To begin with, the Act is gender neutral, meaning it defines a child as any person under the age of 18. This ensures that law applies equally to boys, girls, and transgender children. Secondly, the Act mandates that any person in charge of an institution, excluding children, must report any sexual offence involving a subordinate. Failure to do so, in fact, is punishable under the law. Another critical provision is that the Act allows victims to report an offence at any time, even years after the abuse has occurred. This ensures that survivors have the freedom to come forward whenever they feel ready. Lastly, the Act strictly prohibits the disclosure of victims' identity in any form of media. However, this can only be authorized by the special codes established under the Act. This provision safeguards the dignity and privacy of the victim. Now, moving to the next article, it says that Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said the theme of the third edition of Kashi Tamil Sangamam will be the legacy and philosophy of Maharishi Agasthyar. In this context, let's talk about Maharishi Agasthyar. First of all, Maharishi Agasthyar is also called Maharishi Agasthyar, who is a prominent figure in the Hinduism, celebrated for his unparalleled contributions to the Vedic traditions, Tamil culture, and Siddha medicine. Furthermore, he is revered as a sage, teacher, and philosopher whose influence spans across numerous legends and scriptures. Now, let's explore his role in the Vedic tradition. To begin with, Maharishi Agasthyar is believed to be one of the Saptarishis or 7 great sages mentioned in the Hindu mythology. In addition, he is credited with composing several hymns in the Rig Veda, which continue to hold immense spiritual and cultural significance. Moreover, he played a pivotal role in spreading Vedic knowledge to southern India, ensuring its reach and influence beyond the northern regions. Moving forward, Maharishi Agasthyar is hailed as the father of Siddha medicine, an ancient healing system that originated in Tamil Nadu. Notably, he authored numerous texts on medicine, yoga, including the Agastya Samhita. Furthermore, he introduced herbal remedies and therapies, laying the foundation for curing various ailments naturally. Next, let's talk about the Maharishi Agasthyar's profound influence of Tamil culture. Firstly, he is credited with introducing the Tamil language and grammar through his seminal text Agatyam. As a result, he is regarded as the progenitor of the Tamil literature and a significant figure in Tamil Sangam poetry, leaving a lasting legacy in Tamil literary traditions. Interestingly, Maharishi Agasthyar is also associated with the martial arts. Specifically, he is considered as a founder of Silabam, an ancient Indian martial art form of the Tamil Nadu. Moreover, this martial art focuses on use of weapons like the bamboo staff, emphasizing agility, reflexes, and the coordination. And now, let's explore some of the fascinating legends associated with the Maharishi Agasthyar. For example, he is said to have balanced the Earth's equilibrium by moving to the south when the northern hemisphere became overcrowded. Another noteworthy legend involves Blessing of Lord Rama with the Aditya Hridayam hum involving Lord Surya during his battle with Ravana. Clearly, his presence is deeply rooted in India's mythological and spiritual history. Finally, let's talk about the geographical significance linked to the Maharishi Agasthyar. To illustrate, the Agastyamalai Hills located in the Western Ghats are named after him. Moreover, this region is recognized as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve known for its rich biodiversity and the abundance of medicinal plants, reflecting his enduring connection to nature and healing. The next article says that India's central bank said on Wednesday it will conduct variable rate repo auctions on all working days until further notice amid the tight liquidity in the banking system. Now, in this context, let's talk about the variable rate repo. Know that variable rate repo, also known as term repo rates, is a monetary policy instrument employed by the Reserve Bank of India. Specifically, the variable rate repo, in short the VRR, is used to manage liquidity in the banking system. Through this mechanism, the RBI provides short-term funds to banks via the auctions where the interest rates are determined by the market conditions during the bidding process. And now, let's break down the key features of VRR that makes it an effective tool for the liquidity management. First and foremost, the tenor of the VRR typically ranges from overnight to 14 days, aligning with the cash reserve ratio maintenance cycle. In fact, the 14-day VRR is the primary tool for managing transit liquidity coinciding with the CRR cycle. Next, the VRR auctions are conducted where banks bid for the amount of funds they require. Crucially, the interest rates are determined based on these bids, allowing the RBI to manage the liquidity conditions efficiently. Moreover, the primary aim of VRR is to address short-term liquidity mismatches in the banking system. By doing so, it ensures stability in the financial markets. Additionally, the RBI can adjust the frequency and tenor of these auctions to respond to evolving liquidity conditions effectively. And now, let's look at some of the recent developments surrounding the variable rate repo. For instance, in response to the tight liquidity conditions, the RBI has started conducting daily VRR auctions. Beginning with the January 16, 2025, the RBI initiated daily VRR auctions to inject liquidity into the banking system. Interestingly, the first such auction injected a significant 50,000 crore into the system. And these measures are the part of RBI's ongoing efforts to maintain adequate liquidity in the banking system. As a result, they ensure that financial markets function smoothly and that credit flows to the productive sectors of the economy and they are not disrupted. Now, moving to the next article, it says that today we are celebrating a milestone in India's entrepreneurial journey, that is 9 years of Startup India. So in this context, let's talk about Startup India. To begin with, this transformative initiative was launched on January 16, 2016 and has reshaped the entrepreneurial landscape of the nation. Moreover, this day is now recognized as the National Startup Day, where it is a moment to honor India's strides in fostering a robust and inclusive startup ecosystem. First and foremost, the Startup India initiative was launched with a clear objective, specifically to nurture innovation and catalyze the growth of startups across India. And over the years, India has emerged as the third largest startup ecosystem globally, with major hubs like the Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Delhi NCR regions, while smaller cities are increasingly making significant contributions. And now, let's explore the core features of the Startup India. To start with, see, the initiative simplifies compliance to the self-certification and offers single-window clearances, making it easier for startups to operate. Additionally, the eligible startups enjoy tax exemptions for 3 consecutive financial years, which significantly reduces their financial burden. Furthermore, The 10,000 crore fund of funds for the startup supports early stage funding, enabling startups to scale. Lastly, the initiative provides focused support for the key sectors like biotechnology, agriculture, and renewable energy, fostering innovation in these areas. Next, let's look at the flagship schemes that empower startups under this initiative. First is the Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. See, the scheme provides funding for proof of concept, prototype development, and also market entry, giving startups a head start. Second is the Credit Guarantee Scheme for the startups. See, this scheme offers credit guarantees for loans to startups, ensuring they have access to the necessary capital. Next is a fund of funds for the startups, and this facilitates equity funding through alternative investment funds, that is the AIFs, enabling growth and expansion. In addition to the flagship schemes, Startup India has introduced several other initiatives to support the ecosystem, like capacity building and hand holding. That is, for example, see, the workshops are conducted in non-metro cities under the state's startup ranking framework. Also, special support is provided for the incubators in these remote areas. Furthermore, the initiative runs the national and state level programs along with the social media campaigns and startup showcases to inspire and guide the entrepreneurs. Notably, see, the events like Startup Mahakumbh and Startup India Innovation Week bring together the stakeholders to promote this entrepreneurship. Moreover, the Startup 20 Engagement Group under the India's G20 presidency enhances global collaboration and visibility for Indian startups. Furthermore, a major milestone is that in the year 2024, the launch of Basket platform. Know that essentially this is a centralized resource registry for the startups. Notably, it has some key features like seamless networking for startups and stakeholders, global outreach, and inclusivity for non-metro startups. Finally, let's talk about the Startup Mahakumbh, which is a flagship event that brings together startups, unicorns, investors, and industry leaders. And this event celebrates the India's entrepreneurial spirit and fosters dialogue to strengthen the startup ecosystem. The next article is that Department of Telecommunications, Ministry of Communications, Government of India in its communication to TRI highlighted that the proliferation of the PM-WANI scheme was significantly below the envisaged targets. So in this context, let's talk about PM-WANI scheme and its key features and the benefit it offers. First and foremost, the full form of PM-WANI is Prime Minister's Wi-Fi Access Network Interface. Know that it was launched in the year 2020 by the Department of Telecommunications under the Ministry of Communications. Know that its objective is to enhance public Wi-Fi hotspots to establish a robust digital communications infrastructure, particularly in the rural and under-deserved areas. Now, let's explore the key features of PM-WANI scheme. To begin with, the scheme aims to provide low-cost internet to the rural households and the underserved urban poor. Moreover, it empowers small and micro entrepreneurs by creating new employment opportunities. Additionally, it encourages local shops and establishments to become last mile Wi-Fi providers, and the best part is that they don't require any license or registration fee. Next, let's break down the ecosystem components of PM-WANI and understand their roles. First, the Public Data Office, which sets up Wi-Fi hotspots and provides internet access directly to the users. Second, the Public Data Office Aggregator, which offers the authorization and accounting services to support the PDOs, that is the Public Data Office. Thirdly, the app provider, which helps users discover and connect to available hotspots with ease. Finally, the central registry maintains records of all PDOs, PDOS, and app providers. Importantly, this registry is managed by the Center for Development of Telematics. Now moving forward, let's look what are the benefits does the PM-WANI scheme provides. Firstly, the scheme improves connectivity in the rural areas, thereby reducing the digital divide between the urban and rural regions. Secondly, increased internet access directly contributes to the economic growth supporting India's GDP. Thirdly, the scheme generates employment opportunities, especially in small and medium scale sectors, empowering local entrepreneurs. Lastly, it provides cost effective internet to underserved communities, furthering the goals of Digital India initiative. The next article says that India's goods export contracted 1% year on year in December to a fraction over $38 billion, while imports grew 4.9% to almost $60 billion. But this narrowed the merchandise trade deficit to a 3-month low of $21.9 billion, reflecting a sharp moderation from November's record gap of $31.8 billion. So well, in this context, let's talk about the merchandise trade deficit. Know that a merchandise trade deficit occurs when the value of the country's imports of goods exceeds the value of its exports of goods. Specifically, this refers to the physical goods and excludes the services. And now, let's explore India's merchandise trade deficit in detail. To start with, here are the major contributors to the deficit. First, China. It is the largest contributor to the India's trade deficit due to high imports of electronics and machinery. Next, the deficit with Russia has increased because of rising energy imports. Additionally, rising imports from the South Korea and Hong Kong also have led to the growing trade deficit. On the other hand, India maintains a trade surplus with certain countries like USA, Netherlands, UK, Belgium and Italy. Moving forward, let's now discuss the impact of merchandise trade deficit starting with its negative effects. Know that the excessive imports deplete foreign exchange reserves which are essential for stabilizing the economy. Second, increased demand for foreign currency to pay for imports can weaken the domestic currency, making the imports costlier. Third, a high merchandise trade deficit directly contributes to a larger current account deficit, raising borrowing costs and increasing the economic vulnerability. Finally, heavy reliance on the imports for the critical goods like the crude oil and electronics can pose geopolitical risk. However, a merchandise trade deficit also have some positive impacts. Firstly, it provides consumers with wider variety of products, often at the competitive prices. Secondly, imports of capital goods and machinery can lead to the higher domestic production and long-term growth. Now, furthermore, let's examine the recent trends shaping India's trade deficit. To begin with, the deficit has increased driven by high crude oil prices and raising the imports of electronics and machinery. At the same time, the government is taking steps to reduce the deficit through production-linked incentive schemes which boost domestic manufacturing and reduce the reliance on the imports, and export promotion measures like offering the incentives to sectors like the textiles, pharmaceuticals and the engineering goods. The next article says that Israel and Hamas agreed to ceasefire deal to pause the devastating war in the Gaza Strip. Multiple officials announced on Wednesday, raising the possibility of winding down the deadliest and most destructive fighting between the bitter enemies. So well, in this context, let's talk about the Israel and Hamas. Know that Israel is a Middle Eastern country that was established in the year 1948 as a Jewish state. Geographically, it is bordered by Lebanon to the north, Syria to the northeast, Jordan to the east, Egypt to the southwest, and the Mediterranean Sea to the west. Moreover, its capital, Jerusalem, is internationally disputed, yet remains central to the region's geopolitics. Additionally, Israel is known for its advanced military, technological innovations, and economic strength. Next, let's talk about the Hamas. Hamas, which is a Palestinian Sunni Islamic political and militant organization. Since the year 2007, Hamas has governed the Gaza Strip, which is a coastal territory along the Mediterranean Sea. Importantly, Hamas is designated as a terrorist organization by the countries such as Israel, United States, European Union, and the others. Furthermore, Hamas engages in armed resistance against the Israel with the aim of establishing a Palestinian state. Now, focusing on the Gaza Strip, know that it is a coastal territory bordered by the Israel to the north and east and Egypt to the southwest. And it is administered by the Hamas. The region has faced significant challenges including blockades, restricted movements and resource shortages which have exacerbated its humanitarian crisis. Moving forward, let's discuss the key issues fueling the Israel-Hamas conflict. Firstly, disputes are centered on the Gaza Strip, the West Bank and the East Jerusalem, all of which are areas claimed by the Palestinians. Since 2007, Israel has maintained a blockade on Gaza, controlling its borders and resources, further complicating the situation. Secondly, the conflict is marked by the rocket attacks, military strikes and ceasefires. Unfortunately, these escalations often result in heavy civilian casualties on both sides. Lastly, the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza is severe due to the blockades, widespread destruction from the conflicts, and acute resource shortages. And now, let's examine the recent developments in 2025 that have brought renewed focus to the region. Notably, a ceasefire agreement was reached in January 2025, mediated by the international actors like the USA and the United Nations. And this agreement involves a hostage exchange where Hamas releases Israeli hostages and Israel releases Palestinian prisoners. The withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza, enhanced humanitarian aid to Gaza. Finally, let's discuss the geopolitical impact of the Israel-Hamas conflict. See, this conflict directly affects the stability of the Middle East. Additionally, it involves the global powers like the USA, European Union, Arab nations, all of whom play their significant roles in the mediation and peace efforts. And now, the last article of the day says that the Special Enforcement Wing of the Similipal Tiger Reserve arrested at least 10 people over their alleged involvement in trade of black tiger skin and nails. In this context, let's discuss about the Similipal Tiger Reserve and the melanistic tigers of Similipal. Firstly, talking about the Similipal Tiger Reserve, know that it is located in the Mayurbhanj district of Odisha. It is noteworthy that Similipal is one of the India's largest contiguous forested regions, offering immense ecological and geographical diversity. Additionally, it falls under the Deccan Peninsular Zone, specifically within the Chota Nagpur province and the Mahanadian region. Globally, it has been part of global network of biosphere reserves since the year 2009, highlighting its ecological importance. And now, let's explore the key geographical and ecological features that makes the Similipal extraordinary. To begin with, Similipal boasts wide altitudinal, climatic and topographical variations, making it a haven for the biodiversity. Moreover, it is crossed by numerous perennial streams and rivers such as the Karai and the Dio, which sustain the region's flora and fauna. And in terms of vegetation, the reserve is predominantly covered by the moist mixed deciduous forest. Additionally, it features tropical semi-evergreen forest along with the patches of dry deciduous forest and the grasslands. Moving on, Similipal holds immense ecological significance. First, it hosts the highest tiger population in India, including the rare melanistic tigers, which we'll discuss shortly. Second, it is home to the largest elephant population in Odisha, making it a critical region for the elephant conservation. And now, let's explore one of the Similipal's most fascinating features, that is the melanistic tigers. To start with, these tigers are unique for their border, merged black strips which appear on a yellow tawny background. In fact, Similipal is the only natural habitat for these tigers in India, making it truly exceptional. Globally, it is exclusive to Similipal, which is also Asia's second largest biosphere reserve. Interestingly, the distinctive appearance of these tigers is due to a mutation in the PIB gene which leads to pseudomelanism. This mutation, however, is a result of inbreeding and genetic drift as the tiger population in Similipal remains isolated. As a result, approximately 37% of the tigers in Similipal exhibit this unique trait. Moreover, research conducted by the National Center for Biological Sciences in Bengaluru identified this mutation. Significantly, this genetic trait has not been found in other tiger populations across India, further emphasizing Similipal's uniqueness. Well, that concludes today's edition of Daily Current Affairs by Civic Center IAS. We have discussed 9 articles in total, and we hope you found this session insightful and helpful in your preparation journey. And we'll be back with another video tomorrow. Stay curious, stay consistent, and stay updated. Thank you.